Sometime later. Promise you'll tell him? Spring asked. But what if he doesn't like me back? Bonnie replied. What if he only likes me as a friend? He asked. The two had been debating if Bonnie should share his feelings of a secret crush to Freddy Fazbear. Memories of his time with Bonnie had flashed before Bonnie's eyes. The two of them had spent days exploring the pizzeria and memorizing the layouts of the vents. At one point, the two had snuck up to their future stage and dreamed up how they would perform for the kids. From what you've told me, he totally likes you. Spring's words broke Bonnie out of his trance. Bonnie's cheeks burned, which prompted Spring to add, he totally likes you more than a friend. Bonnie squealed. What about you and Golden Freddy? Do you think he likes you? He asked. Spring rolled on his back and cupped his cheeks. I hope so, he sighed dreamily. He thought back to when him and Goldie would sing duets to roaring praise from the children. When they sang together, it felt like nothing else mattered at all. If it was a clear night, the two would climb up to the roof of the diner and watch the stars. So why don't you go tell him how you feel? Bonnie asked. Spring's ears folded down. He tucked his arms around his waist. I would if I could, but I can't get out of this room and find him. Over the years, Spring had attempted to break the door down until his joints had cracked. Purple, not wanting his vessel to be too damaged, sealed the door and made it impossible for Spring to find out where it laid. Bonnie pursed his lips together. Then his eyes flickered up to the vents above their heads. That's when the idea struck him. Why don't you come back with me? He asked. Bonnie rolled over to his side and beamed up at Spring Bonnie. The idea of bringing his friend home and getting to reunite Spring with his crush, it was just like icing on the cake. Then we can find him together and you can tell him how you feel. Bonnie cheered. Golden had been one of his and the Fazbear crew's caretakers, and they truly cared about him. The whole crew would definitely agree that Golden deserved some happiness. Perhaps if bringing Spring back would take away the sadness that rested in Golden's eyes. What if, when we find him, he doesn't even remember me? I mean, I have been gone for a long time. Spring asked, his voice slowly trailing away. He had lost track of the days he'd been trapped inside here. Had Goldie been looking for him? Did Golden even know that he was gone? While Spring confessed to his fears, Bonnie tilted his head to the side. If Goldie is anything like you said he is, then he remembers you. And he misses you. Bonnie nodded his head proudly and then wrapped his arms around Spring's waist. Besides, why would anyone forget you? You're awesome, Bonnie declared. Spring returned the hug and smiled down at his purple little doppelganger. Thank you, Bonnie, he whispered. Suddenly, their room was shaking. Bang! Clang! Spring's ears perked up. Okay, it's time to seal up the old vents, one voice called. But where'd my hammer go? Another voice asked. The rumbling got louder. Clang! 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 They were closing the vents, and Bonnie was still inside. Bonnie, you need to get out of here. Huh? Bonnie asked. Hey everybody, welcome back and I hope you enjoyed that comic. I'm sorry it's taken a little bit for the comic. I got a little obsessed with Chucky for a minute. I acknowledge it. I'm still a little obsessed with Chucky, but it's okay. My goal is to get the comic back on track and to get all the reactions back on track too. So I hope you guys are having a good day and I will see you next time on the O Ship Show. Bye!